Thank you so much for everything. My name is Scovia born of Kawale in the mountains, the land of mountains. I'm a tour operator and I operate around East Africa, and my main niche or my main focus is on domestic tourism promotion. Why did I choose domestic tourism promotion? When I was young, actually not so young, as I was still studying at university, I did Bachelor of Commerce, specialized in my finance and banking, but I'm here in tourism. On my first time going for senior 6 trip, I went to Mwea, and I saw how the rangers were dressed so nicely. I enjoyed the forest, and I said, no, I'm not going to the bank, I'm not going anywhere else, I'm going into tourism. I continued doing my business course, but now while I was in the lecture room, as the lecturer taught us, I did not focus on what he was teaching us. If he says go and do maybe wholesale or whatever, my mind was, how am I going to apply this knowledge into the tourism industry? So I used that knowledge. In my second last year, I joined Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge, East Africa Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. If you remember that program, I was one of the top winners from the Western region. I came for grand finale. So I'm giving you this background because when you're starting a business, you must have a focus. That's number one. Know what you can do best, do what you love doing, and focus. Whether you have enough capital or not, as long as you know where you're going, you can always find steps to get you there. So when I got done with my university, I did not go to look for jobs. I went to begin with my idea and my business plan, and that was tourism industry. It is a competitive sector with very rich guys. Like when you look at them, you say, how do I start? So when I looked at them, number one, yesterday the chief speaker said that you need to have where you belong. I started with Kigen's tourism cluster. Robert Mwesche is a member. So tourism Kigen's cluster, I can say, has given me almost every step that I've made into this tourism industry. When you go where you get where to belong, you share ideas that are right, you deal with the right people. That's number one. When you go into business, you must deal with the right people. You don't have to have everyone around you. Select where you have to be and the people to be around you when it comes to business. I went into tourism. I started with Mike Gezi as a sub-region. From there, I hit it down. I went to a national level. Uganda now recognizes me as one of the top domestic tourism promoters in the whole country. When I covered my country, Uganda, I said, no, even East Africa needs to be on my circuit. I went to Tanzania, that was my number one. Mount Kilimanjaro is one of the tallest mountains in Africa. So when you climb that mountain, you have stepped at the top of Africa. I wanted to be on top of Africa, and I went there. Too bad my video has not come out, you are going to love it. So when I went to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, I started marketing East African tourism, and I'm now like an ambassador of East African community tourism in East Africa. So reaching on that point, we are dealing with the problems that as the East African tour operators face. I posted to our East African community platform, and they are handed over to Tanzania, and that's when you see some of the problems being solved slowly, because we have to have a teamwork. So from there, I went to Kenya. We've done Mombasa, Nairobi, all those places I know. Then Rwanda. But to get there, it was a focus. It was a focus. When I started business, I realized to have a vehicle is a necessity. I said before I hit 35 years, I have to have my own car, which I have bought in my own power. And you people, let's avoid this thing of thinking everything has to be funded by someone. We need to get rid of that mentality. If you know that you want something, but wish for something that you can afford to work for, If you say you want that bicycle, you know within 3 years you can work for it. Depending on what you're doing, you can really get it. At 33, I got my own vehicle. Wow. How did I get it? Because I worked so hard. In 3 months, I had a vehicle. I had a shop garage. You can't believe it. I've seen some people with the photos. Don't underestimate the business you're running. Any small business, any business you have can turn into a huge something. So that's just a simple shop gallery. Of the photos I used to take when I go to the fields, I sold them to my hoteliers in Kigezo region. In just 4 months, I was able to buy my own vehicle. So when I bought that vehicle, I realized I can do even more. I can do even more, and if I could do that right now, some of you could have probably encountered me. I'm one of the ladies that drive these Land Cruisers for tourists. We find us cross-cutting each other. The freights I partner with Uganda Airlines for all the clients that I have to take to South Africa, to Kenya, Tanzania, wherever. We go by freight. I deal with group photos. I mean group trips. You people, when you travel, you discover a lot. When you travel, you discover.